this last year. He was like 70 something.
Yeah,
he was like 60 something yards, 60 something yards this past year.
Yeah, so he gonna get that this year. I really think that Calvin Ridley's gonna get his first 1,000-yard season. He would have had it last season if he didn't get injured. Julio, you can book it. He always gets over 1,000 yards. And then I really think that Matt Ryan's gonna go over 5,000. That's my hot take.
Who is your early candidate for most interceptions in our secondary?
He said KZ. Man, KZ a ball hawk, man. KZ a ball hawk. But I think the rookie gonna surprise a lot of people.
Go ahead, dude. Told you.
Yeah, I think the rookie gonna surprise a lot of people, man. I really like the kid AJ Terrell, man. I really like AJ Terrell. I think a lot of people are asleep, but I think he's one of those guys that he's very opportunistic, man. He's a guy that I can see gonna get beat on a couple double moves because he's still wet behind the ears. But he's one of those guys that if you that quarterback and you throw that ball in the flats, it's game over. Because he's a guy that looks to make the big play. And if you remember against Alabama in the championship game, when he took that thing to the house, one thing about him is he's a cornerback that likes to watch the quarterback. He always turns back and watches the quarterback's eyes. So he's one of those guys, like I said, I can see him getting beat on a couple double moves. But if he gets his hands on that football, he's one of those guys that turns into an offensive playmaker. Because if you go look at his history, AJ Terrell was actually a wide receiver in high school. So he's one of those guys, if he gets his hands on that football, he's kind of like a Robert Alford. If he gets his hands on it, he's an athlete. He's turning into a running back with the ball. He ain't looking to go out of bounds. He's looking to take that thing back for a touchdown. So he's a big playmaker, man. So I love when we drafted him, I thought we reached a little bit to get him. But we really needed a playmaker because, to me, Oliver is not really that type of cornerback. Darqueze Dennard is not really a cornerback that way that looks for the ball. Now, Kendall Sheffield, he's another guy that's one of my dark horses that I think he's another guy that plays the football. He doesn't just play the actual defender or the receiver, and he looks at the quarterback as well, and he goes for big plays as well. And he's one of those dudes that's going to come down and try to hit you too. And I like cornerbacks that can hit. And Kendall Sheffield is one of those guys that he's going to come down and try to knock your head off like a safety. Even though he ain't the biggest guy, he's going to come down and try to make a play on the football. So I think AJ Terrell might lead the team in interceptions because at least out of the cornerbacks, I can see KZ leading the whole team because he plays that free safety center of the field. So he gets those tip drill type interceptions and all of that. But I really think out of our cornerbacks, I really think that AJ Terrell is the most opportunistic cornerback that we have on this team. And I really think that he might take a couple back to the house because, of course, he's a rookie, and a lot of these quarterbacks are going to try him this year. And I think after him taking one back, if he intercepts one and takes it to the house, I think they're gonna think long and hard about throwing his way. But early on, I think they're gonna test the kid and see if he's really like that. And I think he's really like that, man. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. And one thing that I love about AJ Terrell is I love cornerbacks that have played in big games. He's one of those guys. I think he played in 2 national championship games, if I'm not mistaken, with Clemson. So he's used to being on the big stage, and that big stage doesn't scare him. Sometimes when we get some of these cornerbacks from these smaller schools, they kind of have that fear because they haven't played against the best talent. But him being at Clemson, he didn't play it against the Jared Judys. He didn't play it against all the top-notch wide receivers. So lining up against Julio every day in practice, lining up against Michael Thomas, is not going to scare him one bit because he didn't went up against all these top-notch guys. And he's been in pressure moments. And it's all about being in those moments, man. I tell people all the time, pressure busts pipes. And everybody ain't ready for that type of pressure, man. And the Falcons this year, I really think that we got a lot of pressure as far as being Super Bowl contenders. Because this year, for Dan Quinn, for all of the players that we brought in, all these first-round picks, this is a make-or-break season for our team, real talk. For a lot of people, Pat McKinley, a lot of people, they're on the line. It's all on the line right now. All the chips are pushed to the middle of the table, and it's put up or shut up this year for everybody. So I really think that if you're scared, go to church, as they say, because it's all on the line this year, man. So you got to come with it. Yeah, you got to come with it this year. You got to come with it, man. And I think AJ Terrell is one of those guys that
go to church. Yeah.
but I think he's ready though. I think AJ Terrell is really going to surprise a lot of people because I've seen a lot of people saying that they were trying to knock him for going up against LSU. I think it was where he kind of got exposed, but I think he's one of those guys that is going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to surprise a lot of people. So I can see him leading the team in interceptions because he's one of those guys that's opportunistic. But what y'all think?
I can't say he got exposed because everybody got their ass beat.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't, like I said,
right.
You can't knock him for that. Shoot. Yeah, you like I said, it's crazy. But like he kind of reminds me of Nnamdi Asomugha a little bit.
Uh-oh, be careful with that name.
I'm talking about the Oakland. I'm talking about the Oakland.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I can see that.
We're talking about Oakland now. We're talking about Oakland.
Yeah,
we ain't talking about Philadelphia can't play zone Nnamdi Asomugha.
Right.
I can see that.
But
I can see that.
like I said, because he's kind of got that range, and you say he kind of had like that Robert Alford thing. My only knock about Robert Alford was the pass interference and the holding calls is what killed me with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more about confidence and mental with him than anything because he had the skill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. But like Drew said, he went to a smaller school. He didn't play against that elite talent.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't get can't nobody come from Walmart University and come to the NFL. It ain't gonna work like that. It ain't gonna work like that.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, AJ Terrell, I can see that. But I say Ricardo Allen will lead the interception this year, especially if he's playing strong safety.
Ooh.
They're not gonna try KZ like that. They won't try KZ like that because it's been proven he's too much of a ball hog. Like you said, they gonna try Terrell, but I think Ricardo Allen has that veteran savvy to really kind of nudge on that side and pick a few out. That just is my thought right there. Don't take it.
Man, I'm just going to say this, man. I think it's going to be a safety or a corner. I think a lot of people have just outright disrespected what Deion Jones is. This dude is a big-time player. He's a big-time player. He steps up in big-time moments. And what the is playing more style defense, you're going to see a more aggressive Deion Jones. You got a much more defensive line rotation now. Like when a linebacker has to worry about his feet and linemen coming, chopping his feet and like these big offensive linemen, they're going at him. They're putting that big 330-pound body frame on them. Like that plays a lot. That plays a lot. And like I said, it's almost like basketball. If you got a damn body check Shaq, bro, he 220 pounds. He can't guard Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things you got to worry about at linebacker. So when Deion Jones has athletes on the outside, he has athletes in the back behind him that he doesn't have to worry about. That man can eat. He can jump on those short routes. He can make. We saw what he did against the Bucks. He won the game against the Bucks. That was all eye. So I think for the Atlanta Falcons is going to lead in interceptions, Deion Jones, because we're going to see a much more aggressive Deion Jones, and they're really going to. I want to say cater the defense towards him, but it's going to fit him more because he can do what he does best, and that's roam and get around on the field and make plays on the ball. So I think you're going to see a lot of tip balls, being that this is in Deion Jones. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a tip ball, reading plays. This guy just has a knack for turnovers and getting interceptions. He's always around the ball. So I think it's going to be Deion Jones going to lead the team in interceptions.
That was a good sneaky pick, Mike. I think Look, I forgot about Debo.
Look, I almost went there, but I went a whole nother direction.
Yeah, Debo, that's swiper right there, man. That's swiper the box right there, man.
All he gotta do is say, "What chain?" But like I said, it's gonna have to come down to the Davidson boys. If they get that pressure up the middle, shoot, hey, anybody can lead this team in interceptions for all I care.
This is a good question right here, Mike. I'm talking about the